Payoff Pitch Baseball presents the 1994 season restart. The date, August 17th, 1994. Tonight, live from Veterans Stadium, it's the Cincinnati Reds versus the Philadelphia Phillies. Good evening, everyone. This is RJL 518, Robert here, welcoming you here to the Veterans Stadium for tonight's game between the Reds and the Phillies. As I wanted to say, as I said a couple of times, I want to make sure that at least every team in the 1994 season gets a play, and this was one of the reasons why I chose this game, and it's still an important game. The Cincinnati Reds so far are not off to a good start since the restart began. They now trail the Houston Astros in the National League Central. The Philadelphia Phillies are playing not too bad. So if you take a look at some of the what I've been writing here for the seasons, as you know, you guys have been watching. You've been watching how I'm doing it. So here you can see the wins now since we started. As you can see, the Reds have gone 1-3 since the start. The Phillies actually 3-1. So the Phillies are actually taking over third place in the National League East from the Mets right now. The check marks mean those are teams that have been played so far in my restart, which means if there's not a check, that means I have to play that team somewhere down the line. Before this restart ends. And of course, I already have, we have the Dodgers are scheduled for Sunday. The Marlins will be scheduled. We got lots of great baseball action coming your way here. So as you can tell, I welcome you to tonight's game. I'm still using the 1994 quick results charts, but I actually spoke to Joe Bryan on email today, and he said that he's actually redoing every single quick results chart, and he said he will have every season with a quick results chart. If that's true, then I will re-download for 94, and I will use his system, okay, for the series, for the replay or restart, I should say. So I'll use his system. I still reserve the right to regrade, okay, after maybe a period of a month or so. So good teams that are playing good can stay good, and teams that are playing bad might just get themselves lowered. But anyway, tonight we're at Veterans Stadium for tonight's game between the Reds and the Phillies. Veterans Stadium. Oh my God, what a dump! I don't know how in the world the Phillies played on this surface. A hard, basically concrete with turf lining. Just pretty much the same softness as this felt here. And matter of fact, this felt might be softer than what they actually played on. Veterans Stadium. Oh, what a dump. One of the worst stadiums in history. The only stadium that I think is worse than that now is Tropicana Field. I'm sorry. When a baseball hits a catwalk and it's considered in play, I got a problem with that. I don't know how Major League Baseball approved Tropicana Field for play. I don't know how, but Tampa Bay got it, and they play there. So what are you going to do? But tonight, but here in 1994, the Devil Rays, and of course the Diamondbacks don't exist yet. So we got some baseball to play tonight as the Reds take on the Phillies. Take a look at the starting line. Yep, exactly, STM. You're right about that. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Cincinnati Reds tonight. And there was a lineup change, and I'll get to that in a moment. Tony Fernandez will bat first. Barry Larkin bats second. Hal Morris will bat third. Kevin Mitchell will bat fourth. Reggie Sanders will bat fifth. Now, here is the lineup change. On the lineups, I had Roberto Kelly playing center field for the Reds. I failed to take a look at transactions, and lately I've had Deion Sanders on the Braves. In this time of the year, Deion Sanders is on the Reds, and Roberto Kelly was on the Braves. They traded each other. So I retired Deion Sanders' card on Atlanta. From now on, Deion Sanders will be on the Reds. And, of course, Roberto Kelly, I activated his card on the Braves and closed his card here on the Reds. So if I have to make a lineup change, sometimes I will. So, as I said, Reggie Sanders is batting fifth. Deion Sanders will bat sixth. Willie Green will bat seventh. Brian Dorsett will bat eighth. And the pitcher, John Smiley, will bat ninth. Let's take a look at defensively for the Philadelphia Phillies. At first base is John Kruk. Mariano Duncan is at second. Dave Hollins is at third. We have Kevin Stocker, the shortstop. Pete Incaviglia is in left field. Lenny Dykstra is in center field. In right field, of course, is Longmire. The catcher, may he rest in peace, Darren Daulton. And hi there, Steeler fan. Welcome, 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 Steeler fan. Welcome, welcome. Okay. So again, rest in peace, Darren Daulton. We'll talk a little bit more about him as he gets up to bat. All right, but he is the catcher. And on the mound for the Philadelphia Phillies in this game is Jeff Juden. He only had a couple of starts, but in the lineups I chose for this game, he actually came up. 1 win, 4 losses, a 6.18 ERA. The problem with Juden's got a wheelhouse right at 10. So that could be, and his ballpark is at 5. But the thing about Veterans Stadium, the wheelhouse was very low in 94, only a 1-25 and /1-32. So Veterans Stadium was not very hitter-friendly in 94. So we'll see how this goes tonight as we get underway. Cincinnati comes into this game with a record of 67-51. They are in second place in the National League Central during the simulation. Philadelphia, 57-62. They're now only 5 games under 500 and have now taken over third place in the National League East from the Mets. Okay, enough talk. The umpires told me to shut up and let's try to play ball. So here we go. As the Cincinnati Reds are going to bat here on the top of the first. And leading off for Cincinnati will be Tony Fernandez. Fernandez batted .274 with 5 home runs against right-handed pitching in 94. Juden is a right-hander, so we will see what happens. So everything is set to go. We are ready to play. The fans are still settling in. The ball game is underway. Here we go. And it starts with an 8, and it's a tough, and it's a 20, and it's a strikeout. So Juden gets off to a quick strikeout there, and there's one away. Jeff Juden averaged 7.3 strikeouts per 9 innings, and it gave up a home run. Maybe gave up at least 1 home run per 9 innings. All right, he averaged. That's pretty much what he did. He averaged about 4 walks per 9 innings. So Jeff Juden is capable of getting batters out. Here's Barry Larkin. Oh boy, what a player! 277. 6 home runs against right-handers in 1994. Barry Larkin was 30 years old here. One of the best shortstops, I think, ever, and definitely, absolutely Hall of Famer, no doubt. Barry Larkin, hell of a player for the Reds. Okay, I was very, very pleased to see this guy here. Like I said, the one thing about doing some of these older seasons, 1994, is, it's just amazing to see some of these players that come up that I used to watch, when I was much younger. Of course, I was in the 30s. I was about 1994. What am I, 51 years old? So I was 27 when this 27? Yeah, I was 27. My daughter wasn't born yet. So here's the pitch to Barry Larkin. And that starts as a 7. That's a patient. And that's a 53. And Barry Larkin is going to draw a 1-out walk. So he will take a walk to first. There's the first walk issued by Juden, as Larkin will go to first. His steal rating is a 5, but a 7 came up, so I will not try. However, with an A as a stealer, I might try a hit and run. But here's Hal Morris. Hal Morris, I don't know what people think, but Hal Morris is so – I felt he was an awesome player. Batted .362 with 10 home runs in 1994 for Cincinnati. Hal Morris gets the call. Barry Larkin's got very good speed. I'm going to go ahead and do hit. With 1 out, I'm going to go ahead and do hit and run. So Hal Morris is going to get the call. Let's see what we get here. And this is a 9. That's a patient. It's a 58. It's a 58, which means we go to the hit, and it's a patient. So we actually go to the hit and run chart. And it's a 58, and it's a ground ball to shortstop, but all runners advance 1 base. So Barry Larkin does get to second base, but it's a ground ball to short. So it works like a fielder's choice. But Larkin goes to second, but now there's 2 outs. If that was a 58, I think that would have been a patient. That would have been a regular fly out. So, but that's okay. We try. Some people ask me why I don't do hit and run. Well, there's one there for you. But it's 2 outs now. Larkin on at second base. And the batter now is Kevin Mitchell, ex-Met. Batted .319 with 21 home runs in 1994. Kevin Mitchell was a slugger that year. He was a slugger. This Reds team was good. I mean, they were only right behind the Astros, about a half game back of Houston, really, when the season was suspended. I mean, this Reds team was good. Since fans at Riverfront had a lot to cheer about. So, as I said, let's see what these teams can do as we try to finish this season out. Here's the pitch to Mitchell, though. That's a 10. That's wheelhouse, but it's 99. That's just going to be a lazy fly ball to left field. Getting under that will be in Caviglia. He will make the catch, and the inning is over. So no runs, no hits, a walk, but that is all for the Reds. As Jeff Juden, I mean, there's that wheelhouse, but that didn't hurt him this time. And that's it there. So nothing really was will walk. We go to the bottom half of the first inning. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. For the Philadelphia Phillies, it is Lenny Dykstra batting first, Mariano Duncan batting second, John Kruk batting third, Dave Hollins batting fourth, Darren Daulton fifth, Pete Caviglia batting sixth, Tony Longmire batting seventh, Kevin Stalker eighth, and Jeff Juden will be batting ninth. Defensively for Cincinnati, we have first base Hal Morris. Tony Fernandez is at second base. Shortstop, of course, is Barry Larkin. Third base, we have Willie Green. In left field, Kevin Mitchell. Center field is Deion Sanders. In right field is Reggie Sanders. Behind the plate is Brian Dorsett. And on the mound for the Cincinnati Reds, John Smiley. Not a bad year. 11 wins, 10 losses, a 3.86 ERA for Smiley. He averaged about 6.4 strikeouts per nine, 2 walks, and a home run. John Smiley, 11-10. It's a winning record. But he maybe just didn't get much run support. But we'll see what happens with Smiley today. He is a lefty, so the Phillies are going up against the Southpaws. That's why the Southpaw lineup was set for the Phillies tonight. So leading off for the Philadelphia Phillies will be Lenny Dykstra. And yes, people, as a Mets fan, I still hate seeing Lenny Dykstra wearing red pinstripes instead of blue pinstripes. Lenny Dykstra batted .231 with a homer against lefties in '94. I always felt Nails should have always stayed a Met, but they made changes after that '86 championship team. And, and Dykstra wound up being a Philly later. It was just tough. But here's the pitch from Smiley. Let's see what he has here. It's an 11, and that's a wheelhouse. That's going to be a 21, and that's going to be a base hit for Lenny Dykstra, a leadoff hit. He has it. That's a single. That's in his wheelhouse, but he'll have to settle for a single on that play. He goes to first. Goes to first there with nobody out. His steal rating is a 4. With an 11, he will not run. So there'll be no steal attempt. And now the batter is Mariano Duncan. Batted .297 with 4 home runs in 1994. If any of these players bring back some memories, post them in the chat. I'd like to know what you think. Mariano Duncan got a good chance for hit and run, but I'm not going to do that here with nobody out. So Dykstra on it first. Duncan the batter. Here's the pitch from Smiley. That's a 6. That's a tough. It's an 0-6, and that is a strikeout. As Duncan goes down, as Smiley gets him looking, as Duncan was looking for the heater, and he got the slider, and it caught the black. So 1 man down, and now the batter will be John Kruk. Not great against the lefties, though. .219 with 1 home run against left-handers. But John Kruk, as you know, was actually still pretty much a beast back in the day with the Phillies. So Dykstra's still on it first. There's not going to be a steal. He will hold. Here's the pitch from Kruk. It's a 7. That's a tough. That's an 0-2, and that is a strikeout. Second strikeout thrown by Smiley. And he's out of there. 2 men down now. And the batter now will be Dave Hollins. He batted .193 with a homer against lefties. And Lenny Dykstra stays at first, so we'll see what Smiley does here. Dave Hollins at bat, 2 outs. So far, only 1 man on. Here's the pitch. That's a 10. That's a tough. That's a 49, and Hollins is going to get himself a single. He belts one. It's a sharp liner into center field. Runner at first advances 2 bases. That's easy for Dykstra. He was going to do that anyway, even if that came up. So Hollins gets a base hit, runners at first and third, and 2 outs. Fans here at Philly loving that. Second hit of the game so far. Fans here at Vet still think the Phillies can probably still get into this if possible. I mean, they've now moved into 3rd place in the National League East, but still very far behind, though, in both wild card against behind both wild cards and, of course, the division. but you never know. I wanted to give a moment of silence to our next player. Here's Darren Daulton. May he rest in peace. Died a couple of years ago. Batted .289 with 4 home runs against left-handed. But Darren Daulton on the '94 Philadelphia Phillies, he was pretty good. One of his better years, but was so happy, as of course me being also, I'm a very huge Mets fan, but of course living here in South Florida, I'm also a Marlins fan. And when Darren Daulton finally got his World Series with the '97 Marlins, I thought it was terrific. If any man deserved the championship as well, that was that. It was this guy. So Darren Daulton has a chance to belt in, maybe bring in a couple of runs, maybe. Runners at first and third, but 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Smiley, or Smiley pitching. It's a 62. That won't do it, though. It's a fly ball to left field. Getting under that will be Kevin Mitchell, and he will make the grab, and that retires his side. So no runs, 2 hits, as 2 base runners are stranded. And we go to the top of the second inning where the Reds and the Phillies are scoreless. Unfortunately, I never got a chance to meet Darren Daulton. I wanted to when he was with the Marlins. I met a lot of Marlins in '97. Of course, I went to those World Series games when I was down here against the Indians and, of course, the Yankees and, of course, the entire playoffs. When you live in South Florida and your baseball team is in the World Series or in the playoffs, you go to those games, and I did that. I certainly did that. Top of the second inning, and coming up now for the Reds will be Reggie Sanders against Juden. Reggie Sanders batted .243 with 11 homers against right-handers. So Jeff Juden gets the sign today. Let's see what he sends him. Here's the pitch from Juden, and that's a 9. That's going to be a patient. It's an 83, and that's a fly ball straight away center field. Nails is going to get under this one with ease, and he makes the catch for the first out. And that will bring up Deion Sanders. And, of course, remember I just said Deion Sanders is now on the Reds, no longer on the Braves. And what I mean I opened and closed the cards, it means I put the cards back in the pack, but I reversed them, which means I cannot use that card for the rest of this, for that series or for the season. Or, of course, if he's injured, I turn him around for the time being and put him in another section of the bag. It kind of makes things easy. Deion Sanders batted .285 with no homers against right-handers for '94 Cincinnati. So at least Jeff Juden doesn't have to worry about the home run blast, but Sanders could hit. Here's the pitch from Juden. We got a 4, and that's going to be a defense. It's a 78, and that's an error check. So the ball is hit to third. That's hit to Hollins. It's an error check. It's a 1, a 78, and he dives, and he makes the play. Great play by Dave Hollins. Gets him, throws to first, and nails him by half a step. What a play by Dave Hollins. A 78 error rating on a 1, and Hollins is just horrible at third base, but he makes the play as Veterans Stadium out number gets him. He's out of there. What a play by Hollins. 2 outs. On a regular ground, it just turns out to be a regular ground ball to third. Here's Willie Green. He batted .233, no homers against right-handed pitching in '94. So Jeff Juden looking for a 1-2-3 inning. Let's see if he can get it. Here's the pitch from Juden, and that's a 10. That's wheelhouse. That is definitely wheelhouse, and it's a 37, and Green is going to miss this. Wow, a 37. It's a ground ball right to first. Nice play by Kruk. He's going to take it himself, tag the bag. For Willie Green, a wheelhouse single was a 6-36, and it's a 37. And Jeff Juden wipes his brow as he gets a 1-2-3 inning. Well done by Juden. So nothing across for the Reds as we go to the bottom half of inning number 2. Smiley takes back the mound. And coming on to bat for Philadelphia will be Pete Incaviglia. You got to love the baseball names. Incaviglia batted .252 with 4 homers against lefties in '94. So John Smiley toes the rubber, takes a look at the sign, takes a nice look at Dorsett, and here's the pitch. It's a 7. That's a tough. It's a 25, and that is a strikeout. One down. Jeff Juden's fatigue rating is a 7. He is a 7, so he can go at least 7 innings if possible. And if he came in as a relief pitcher, which he did once in 1994, his fatigue rating was long. So Incaviglia definitely he can go 7 innings. John Smiley's fatigue rating is an 8. Remember, this is 1990s baseball. These pitchers were still left in quite a while compared to what we do now in today's league. So here's Tony Longmire for Philadelphia, batted 192 with no homers against the lefties in 94. So here's the pitch from Smiley. This is an 8. That's an in play. It's a 16, and that's going to be a base hit for Tony Longmire. He rips that one into center field. Coming over for it is Sanders. He'll throw it in, but Longmire has a single. And that is the 3rd base hit of the game off of Smiley. He will hold it first. His rating is an 8. His steal rating is a 4. Longmire will not steal. And the next batter for Philly will be Kevin Stocker for the Fightin Phils. Batted 268 with 1 home run against lefties. And Stocker is a switch hitter. So runner on first, 1 out. Here's the pitch from Smiley. We got an 11. That's wheelhouse, but 97 won't get it done. That's going to be a fly ball to left field. Kevin Mitchell's going to get under that one. And he puts it away. 2 down. Longmire stays at first. Nice play by Kevin Mitchell and the Cincinnati Redlegs. It will bring up Jeff Juden. He will bat, and he uses batting card number 3. So he's pitcher hitting card number 3. He can get a few base hits once in a while. So 2 men away. Smiley, pitcher versus pitcher here in this game. So here we go. Smiley throws. It's a 6. It's a tough, and we already know what that is. That is a strikeout. And Juden just goes ahead and puts his head down. And that is all she wrote. No runs and 1 hit for Philadelphia. But that is all they get, as John Smiley does his job for that. And 2 innings were in the books. And it's still no score. We go to the top of the 3rd. And Jeff Juden gets back on the mound. And coming up to take his first licks in this game will be Brian Dorsett. He is the catcher, and not a bad one. Not really a bad one. Makes some errors, though, but he's not bad. He's got an arm rating of 2. His catcher rating is a B. Dorsett against righties batted 225 with 4 home runs. So he's definitely capable of throwing runners out here. So, Jeff, let's see what Brian Dorsett does here against Juden. Here's the pitch from Jeff. That's a tough. That's a 64. And that is definitely going to be a hard hit ball to second base. Nice play by Duncan. He throws to first, and we got 1 out. A nice ground ball to second base, and now the batter is John Smiley. He can hit. He uses pitcher hitting card number 9. So he is capable of hitting, John Smiley. Unlike Juden, although Juden with a 3 could still do some damage. Juden the windup, the pitch. And it's a 7. That's a patient. It's an 0-9, and he's going to walk the pitcher. Oh, you just don't want to do that. Jeff Juden walks John Smiley. He'll go to first. And the steal rating's a 3C, but of course the pitcher's not going to steal here. So Smiley goes to first on a walk. And now we go to the top of the order with Tony Fernandez. Still 1 out. That is the 2nd walk issued by Juden. So let's see what Juden does here with Fernandez. Fernandez struck out his last time up. Here's the pitch. It's an 11. That's a tough. That's a 43. But Fernandez here, he will fight this one off, and that's going to be a base hit for Fernandez. It's a single. It's a line drive into center field. Runner on first advances 2 bases. So Smiley's going to go to third. He will hold on that. Fernandez goes to first. Runners in the corners and still 1 out. And he just got that too. A 43, just got it in Fernandez's range. He hits this one. And he gets, and that, believe it or not, really is the first base hit given up by Jeff Juden in this game. So now runners at the corners with 1 out, and that brings up Barry Larkin. He walked his last time up. So the Reds have a chance to get a run in, infield playing normal for Philadelphia. They'll concede the run to try to get try to get the DP. Barry Larkin's double play rating's a 6, but it's early in the game. It's a third. Try to play normal here. Here's the pitch to Larkin. That's a tough. It's a 43. It's a 43, and Barry Larkin's going to belt this one into the outfield for a base hit. That is a sharp liner into center field. Runner on first advances 1 base. Smiley will come in to score, and Fernandez will hold at second. And in comes Smiley. So the Reds get finally on the board, and it's now a 1-0 game. A single for Barry Larkin, second straight hit given up by Juden. And it brings in Smiley. Fernandez has to hold at second base. So 1-0 Reds. And I said, this is a pivotal game. This is a pivotal series here between the Reds and the Phillies. It's pretty important. The Reds are still chasing the Astros in that National League Central. And the Phillies want to continue playing well, and they have been, as you've been checking my stats. Runners at first and second, 1 out. Here's Morris. Morris grounded out his last time up. Here's the pitch from Juden. And this is a 6. That's a tough. It's an 0-4, and Morris caught looking at strike 3. And Morris gives the umpire a couple of choice words, and the umpire says, yeah, okay, just turn yourself around and go back to the dugout because you're out. I think Morris was looking for a heater, and he wound up getting a slurve, and it just caught the letters. So Morris is out, 2 down. And now here's Kevin Mitchell. Jeff Juden trying to get out of the inning with minimal damage. Mitchell flew out his last time up. Here's the pitch. This is a 6. This is also a tough. It's a 39, and Mitchell, he swings and misses at a high fastball, struck him out. And Jeff Juden gets a little bit of an applause from the Philadelphia crowd here at the Vet. He gave up a run, but he clamped down and didn't give up much else. So 1 run on 2 hits for Cincinnati and a walk. We go to the bottom half of the third. As well done by Juden. And when I scheduled this game, I had one of my constituents say, oh my God, Jeff Juden, 6.0 ERA. So far he's not doing too bad, but lots of baseball left to play. Bottom of the third coming up, Reds leading the Phillies 1-0. And it is the top of the order for the Phillies and Lenny Dykstra. Dykstra singled his first time up. He's 1 for 1. So here's the pitch. And it's a 7 from Smiley. That's a tough. That's a 48. And Dykstra is gonna ground this one right to third. An easy play there by Green. He throws to first. 1 out. And now the batter is Mariano Duncan. Duncan struck out his last time up. Smiley checks the sign. Now he lets the pitch go. What do we got? We got a 4. It's an in play. It's a 91, and that one's grounded to shortstop. Coming up with that is Barry Larkin. That is just so routine. Larkin goes ahead, takes a bite of his sandwich when the ball gets there. When he gets it, he just lazily tosses over to first base. And even though Duncan's got great speed, doesn't matter. Barry Larkin gets him out, 2 down. Hope that sandwich tasted good, because Barry Larkin made that look too easy. 2 men down for Kruk. Kruk struck out his last time up. So John Smiley trying to maybe do a 1-2-3 inning. Here's the pitch to Kruk. And that is a 7. That's a tough. That's an 84. And that's a ground ball to second base. So now Fernandez gets his turn. He has it. Puts a piece of chewing gum into his mouth. Then he takes the ball, throws it over to first, and gets the final out of the inning. Job done. A 1-2-3 inning for John Smiley. And 3 straight grounders to third, short, and second. And nothing across for the Phillies. 3 in the books. It's the Reds 1 and the Phillies nothing. And of course, you know, at this time, I take a quick, go get myself a quick drink. So let me just get my sheet here. So for those of you who just need a chance, go ahead and get yourself a drink. Commercial break. Be right back in 1 minute. With music starts. I love it. This is Mel Allen for This Week in Baseball. I hope you guys don't mind when I do that between the innings. Just gives me a chance to wet the whistle a minute, and sometimes you got to go to the bathroom when you stream. The one thing I liked about recording was I could always stop it. But the reason why I really just started streaming from now on, recording a video and uploading it to YouTube took hours. I said, you know what? Enough. I'll just stream. So I want to say to everybody, of course, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you to Sports Time Machine, Utah Mike for his support. Bleacher Bums Gaming, of course, ID Jester, Steeler Fan for being a fan, being a fan, and everybody, of course, Cards and Dice. Thank you all. It's great to be doing this. It's a lot of fun, and I'll tell you the truth that, of course, in our time of coronavirus right now, we got to keep ourselves busy. Thank you to Joe Bryan for doing for Payoff Pitch Baseball. I tell him every time I promote this game, every time I play it, and I do. I think it's one of the best games out there. Okay, this game, and you can't go wrong with Payoff Pitch Baseball. Inside Pitch is an excellent game as well. And for those of you who still believe in the old standbys for Stratomatic and APA, although I might be giving APA a crack at it, because I want to try something with it. But either way, Payoff Pitch is my game of choice. All right, enough blabbering. Let's go to the top of the 4th inning. Reds lead the Phillies 1-0 here at the dump. I'm sorry, the vet. I said that out loud, didn't I? Coming back is Jeff Juden. He will pitch, and leading off for the Reds will be Reggie Sanders. Sanders flew out his last time up. New York area Sunday. Twib Yankee baseball, rain delay, Three Stooges. That is so awesome. I'll tell you, Sports Time. I'll tell you, Utah Mike. I love your cast. I really do. That Mariners Yankees game today was nuts. But man, please, if you can, fix your stream. You kept on going in and out. It was actually a little bit difficult to listen to sometimes. I know you're doing your best out there. It might not. I'm sure it's not you. It's probably your network. Whatever it is, your streaming is just. It was very difficult to watch the game. And you might want to increase your screen size. It's too small. I couldn't see the field. It was too small. If you can, maybe increase it. It was a little too small for me. You barely see the scoreboard and anything on that field. All right, enough. I know he will fix it because he is the man. Here's Reggie Sanders. Let's see what Jeff Juden does here. It's an 11. That's going to be a tough, and that's going to be a strikeout. So far, Jeff Juden, that is his 4th strikeout of the game, 1 down. So Juden actually pitching pretty well so far. Here's Deion Sanders. He grounded out his last time up. And the pitch from Juden. And this is a 7. That's a patient. That's a 45. And Sanders is going to go ahead and get himself a base hit. He hits this right up the middle into center field. Dykstra coming over. He gets it, throws it into second. But Sanders has a single. He holds it first. His steal rating's an 8. It's a 7 is what's on the dice. So I'm going to give Sanders a steal attempt. An 8C. Let's see what we get for a jump. See if he attempts it first. His rating is an 8. His steal rating is an 8. And Daulton's arm is a 4. So, no, sorry, I'm sorry. Jeff Juden's hold is a 10. Wow, he's got a good. So it's a 10 against an 8. He should attempt that. So here's the attempt. It's a 58. So there goes Sanders. He's going to steal. It's a C against Daulton's arm, which is a 4. It's a C4, which is very good. So here's the throw, and he is safe. Deion Sanders kind of stole that pretty easily, and he has the stolen base. So a runner in scoring position for the Reds, and I can see why Cincinnati traded for Deion from Atlanta. Although giving up Roberto Kelly might have been was kind of hurt. Roberto Kelly was always a decent player. Runner at second with 1 out. Here's Willie Green. Willie Green grounded out his last time up. So here's the pitch to Green from Juden. And that's a 9. That's a patient. That's an 84. And that's going to be a ground ball to second base. Sanders will move over to third easily. The throw goes to first. And we got 2 outs, but Sanders is definitely at third. With that speed, yeah. So a ground out, but now 2 away. And that will bring up Brian Dorsett. As I said, Steeler fan, I mentioned it earlier in this, and I'll tell it again, no problem. Deion Sanders was traded to the Reds late in the year. I was not aware of that until I got the lineups. I was putting together the Reds lineup last night. I said, Deion Sanders on Cincinnati. I said, oh, that's right. They traded for him. So what happened is that I closed the card in my pack for the Braves. So Deion Sanders will no longer appear in Atlanta. If he's set on a lineup, I will make the change. Roberto Kelly was supposed to play center field in this game, not Deion Sanders, so I switched it and put Deion Sanders in his place is what I did. So Sanders will now – so if I happen to find any trades on players that I wasn't aware of, I will always make sure the trade was completed. So now Deion Sanders is on Reds only. He will no longer appear on the Braves. Just like Roberto Kelly is now on Atlanta and will not appear in the Reds. Now, of course, the one thing about Payoff Pitch Baseball, we have a card for Deion Sanders with Cincinnati on it, and we have a card with Deion Sanders with Atlanta on it. That's why this game is so great, too. He cards every player, and not just for every player. He cards them for every team he's on for that year. And in the later years, for 2018 and 2019, he actually put the date on the cards, which he did then. So that's even better. If he had put dates on the 94 season, I probably would have already noticed that. But the copyright date on his 94 season is 2017. Not his fault. Not his fault at all. He is doing a great job. As I said, he's redoing the he's redone the quick results chart. So now every season we'll have a quick results chart for it. And now he's working on, he's going to try to reprint the 2012 and 2014 seasons for me, because I need to get those because they're not available in print yet. PDF, yes, but I'm not downloading crap. I want the cards. And his next season is 1986. Yeah, I can't wait for that one. Here's Brian Dorsett. Runner on third with 2 outs. Enough blabbering. Let's roll. And that is a 9. That's a patient, but that's a 98. And that's not going to get it done. That's a fly ball to left. Getting under that is Incaviglia. And the side is retired. So Jeff Juden continues to actually do well. No runs and a hit, but no errors on that. As Jeff Juden continues to pitch. Not too shabby. We go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Yep, a card for every stadium, even for Puerto Rico. However, he did make one error. The Tokyo Dome, he did not card for 2019 because I wanted to do the 2-game series between Seattle and Oakland for Ichiro. He did not do the Tokyo Dome. He says he's going to card it, but he's probably only going to make it a PDF. If he's going to just do it for that, I'll understand. I'll have no problem with it. I'll download the PDF, and I'll take that, and I'll put it up to one of my blanks that I got, one of the blank cards that we have that I get from it, and we'll do from there. So he did not card the Tokyo Dome because he said, and not because he didn't want to, because there was no stats on it from Retro Sheet. But he's going to card it, and when he does, I probably will do the Ichiro tribute for Ichiro's 2 last games for Seattle in Japan. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Dave Hollins leads off for Philadelphia against Smiley. Hollins singled his last time up. He's 1 for 1. Here's the pitch, and that is an 8. That's an in play. It's an 89, and that's a ground ball to short. Easy play there for Barry Larkin. He has it. He throws to first, and we got 1 out. Another ground ball. 4 straight ground outs by John Smiley. And that will bring up Darren Daulton. Daulton flew out his last time up. Why would you want to get PDFs when you can get card quality like this? Really? Pay for it. You get what you pay for with his system. Another reason why as much as I would like to try, I'm giving Appa a shot. There we go, Dave Little. I knew you'd show up sooner or later. The reason why I want to give Appa a shot is because of how smoothly the game system works. But you take a look at Stratomatic, how flimsy their cards is. I mean, really, best card quality on the planet from any game, bar none. ID Jester agrees, pretty much. BBG agrees with me. How can you not? Darren Daulton, the batter, 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 1-0 Reds. Here's the pitch. It's a 7 on John Smiley. That's a 79. And that one's a fly ball to center field. So finally a ball that's going to go into the outfield. But Deion Sanders will get to that one. And we got 2 outs. 2 men down, and that will bring up Pete Incaviglia. He struck out his last time up. Good to see you there, Dave. Just to let you know, the Reds are now trailing the Astros in the National League Central since the start of this restart. They got off to a struggling start so far. Philadelphia has actually done pretty well. They switched places with the Mets in the National League East. So we got lots of baseball to play. Here's the pitch to Incaviglia. That's an 8. That's an in play, and that is going to be a base hit by Pete Incaviglia. That's an 0-2. That is going to be a double easily as he smacks that one down the left field line into the corner. He's going to go for 2. He will make it easily. So a 2-out double for Incaviglia, and the Phillies are still in business. I do have another game scheduled with the Astros this week. The Astros play the Montreal Expos. I believe that game is Friday. So Expos versus Astros, big game, with Montreal leading the National League East and the Astros right now leading the National League Central. So we have the Expos and the Astros scheduled for Friday. That'll be the first time I'm presenting Montreal. As remember, I'm trying to get every team played. Your Astros also will probably be playing the Mets a couple of days later after that as well, because I got to get the Mets in there too. Here's Tony Longmire for Philadelphia. He singled his last time up. He's 1 for 1. So a runner at second base, but 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Here's the pitch from Smiley. It's a 5. That's ballpark 46. That's going to be in play, but that's going to be in play. And it's going to be an 84, and that one is going to be a ground ball to second base. Coming up with it is Fernandez. He has it. He throws to first, and the side is retired. You just got to love Joe Bryant's system here. Is it perfect? Of course not, but it is so playable. No runs, a hit, and 1 man stranded. 4 are in the books. It's still Reds 1 and Phillies 0. We go to the top of the 5th inning, and here comes Jeff Juden, actually pitching a pretty good game. Yeah, is that a 2 sports? Deion plays for 2 teams in the same sport. Yeah, the Expos were definitely good in '94. That is so true, my friend. So true. Top of the 5th inning, who leads off? Oh, yeah, Smiley. Smiley leads off against Juden. Juden walked him his last time up, and he actually scored a run. So Juden, I don't think, would like to walk the pitcher again as we start the top of the 5th. Let's see what Juden does here. That's a 9. That's a patient, and he won't. That's going to be a 94, and he flies one out to left field, shallow. Coming under this one is Incaviglia. He will make the catch, 1 out. We go to the top of the batting order for Cincinnati, and here's Tony Fernandez. Fernandez is 1 for 2, struck out and singled. Here's the pitch from Juden. That's a 5. That's ballpark, 66. That's going to be in play. And it's a 98, and that one's going to be a fly ball to left field again. And getting under this, of course, is Incaviglia. And he makes the catch for the 2nd out. So out goes Fernandez. And now here's Hall of Famer Barry Larkin. Larkin is 1 for 1, singled and walked. Juden trying to do another 1, 2, 3 inning. Let's see what he can do here. Here's the pitch from Juden. That's an 8. That's a tough. That's a 34. And Larkin swing and a miss. He struck him out. And the fans here at the Vet are loving it as he strikes out Barry Larkin. Not an easy thing to do, really. But he gets him on that. And a 1, 2, 3 inning for Jeff Juden of the Phillies. So nothing across as we go to the bottom half of the 5th. Here comes John Smiley. 1-0 Reds. Like to remind you, my next scheduled game is tomorrow, and that's going to be at Comiskey Park as the Boston Red Sox take on the Chicago White Sox. And I got to bring the Red Sox in there, so if anyone knows that anyone gets a chance to talk to Al Red Sox fan, his Red Sox are on board tomorrow night. Red Sox versus White Sox. It's Aaron Seeley against Jason Bear. That should be a good matchup between those two. The White Sox lead the American League Central. Boston's still playing pretty scrappy, but they're not really much in it, but they're still playing scrappy. Bottom of the 5th inning, Reds 1, Phillies 0. Leading off for Philadelphia will be Kevin Stocker. Stocker is 0 for 1. He flew out. That's not what you said last time, Tony. And I got the proof. Juden is a beast. I don't want to hear it. 6.0 ERA. You didn't even want me to start him. Here's the pitch. It's a 9 on John Smiley. That's a patient. That's a 20. Stocker's going to draw the base on balls, but just barely. A 1 to 29 is what he has as a base on balls, but he will get to first. So the Phillies get the leadoff base runner on a walk, and that, of course, brings up Juden. Juden, of course, will sacrifice him over. Attempted. His bunt rating's a B, so we're going to just do a sacrifice. Sacrifice bunt attempt is a B. It's an SH, which means it works. So Juden is thrown out at first, and Stocker goes to second on the bunt. 1 out, but Juden does his job on a sacrifice. So 1 man down, Stocker on at first base. The batter now is Dykstra. Tell me, Tony, you hated seeing Lenny Dykstra on a Philadelphia Phillies card. It still upsets me seeing nails on that. Any Met that was on that 86 team, is this a minor league game? All right, yeah, okay. Any Met that was on the 86 team really hurts to see him play on someone else. But here's Dykstra. Dykstra's 1 for 2, singled and grounded out. Here's the pitch. That's ballpark 22. That is wheelhouse. It's a 25. Oh, he's not going to get it, but he is going to get a base hit for Lenny Dykstra. He gets it. That is a wheelhouse single. And that's a line drive into left field. Runner on second advances 1 base. Stocker goes to third. Dykstra to first. Stocker's run rating is a 7. And he will hold there. Runners in the corners with 1 out. The tying run 90 feet away as Dykstra gets his second hit of the game. The ball was hit to center field. Sanders' arm rating is a 6. I'm not going to, and with 1 out, I think you keep him at third and let the next batter come up to bat, and that's going to be Mariano Duncan. Dykstra, a stealing threat of a 4, but with a 5 here, he will not run. So we'll stay runners at first and third. So John Smiley now in a little bit of a jam. Duncan comes up. He's 0 for 2. Here's the windup and the pitch from Smiley. And that is a 6. That's a tough. That's going to be an 86. And that is going to be a ground ball to shortstop. Now, Duncan's double play rating is an 8. Smiley's double play rating is a 7. He will get out of it. Duncan grounds to short, over to second, back to first for 2. John Smiley gets out of the inning on a double play. Ouch. 6-4-3, and Smiley gets out of the inning without giving up a run. So 5 innings are in the books. It's still 1-0 Reds. We go to the top of the 6th. Here's Juden coming out here. And the leading off for Cincinnati will be Hal Morris. Morris is 0 for 2. Struck out and grounded out. Here's the pitch. And that's a 6. That's a tough. That's a 63. And that one is a fly ball to left field. Incaviglia will get under this one easily. Makes the catch for the first out. The batter now will be Kevin Mitchell. Mitchell is 0 for 2 as well. Juden pitching pretty well. A pretty interesting card for a guy that was 1-4 with a 6.18 ERA, but that wheelhouse at a 10 and a ballpark at the 5 probably makes up for the toughs. Here's the pitch. And that's a 6, and that's a tough 93, and that's a ground ball to short. Coming up with it is Stalker. He has it, throws to first, and that's the second out. Two men down, and the batter is Reggie Sanders. Sanders is also 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. And that's a 5. That's ballpark 16. That's going to be wheelhouse. The number's an 87, and it won't matter. That's a ground. Sanders hits it hard, but right to short. Nice play by Stalker. He throws to first, and the inning is over. So Juden giving up some ballpark wheelhouses, but so far the batters are not getting the card picks to help them out. And that's another 1-2-3 inning for the Reds. We go to the bottom half of the 6th. Still a 1-0 lead by Cincinnati. And here comes Smiley. And leading off for the Phillies will be John Kruk. Remember, we got the 7th inning stretch coming up with the 10-minute ticker. And I want to let you know, Tony, that Joe is completely streamlined his quick results charts. There will be a quick results chart for every season, he says, and it will soon be posted in the freebies section, which means I'll probably use his chart from now on instead of mine. Although I did tell him I think I figured out his formula. I want to see how close I was when I see the chart for 94. So nobody out. Here's John Kruk, bottom of the 6th. Let's see what pitch from Smiley. That's a 6. That's a tough. That's a 17. And that is a, say it with me, strikeout. One down. As Smiley continues to throw strikes. That's Smiley's 5th strikeout of the game. That's his 5th strikeout of the game, and Smiley usually averages about 6.4 per 9 innings. Jeff Juden, however, averages 7.3 strikeouts per 9 innings. And Juden has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got 5 strikeouts also. So far, the pitchers, although they're a little bit below their ERA, but so far, the pitchers are doing fine. Here's Dave Hollins. Hollins is 1 for 2, singled and grounded out. And Tribe fan joins us. Tribe! Your Cleveland Indians I will be featuring your Indians, I believe, next week. So you'll take a look at the schedule for the Indians. I have them. I think I'm going to have Cleveland next week. I have to use the Indians somewhere. So they're going to be featured in the game next week. So be on the lookout for that there, Tribe. Here's Dave Hollins. And this is an 8. That's an in play. And that is a 59. And that's a ground ball to second base. Fernandez will make that play. And we got 2 down. And by the way, yes, Cards and Dice, I will have the Mets playing the Expos. Not the Mets playing the Astros, I believe, next next week sometime too. We'll have the Mets in there. I'm trying to get each team at least one game, at least with this short season I'm doing. Here's Darren Daulton. Daulton is 0 for 2. May he rest in peace. Died too young. I think it was, 55 years old? Here's the pitch to Daulton from Smiley. And that is a 9. That's a patient. It's a 27. And Darren Daulton is going to draw the 2-out walk. It's not like Philadelphia is not getting runners on base. They are. A 2-out walk for Daulton will put him on base. Not going to run. No steal. Not with 2 outs. And now the batter is Incaviglia. Incaviglia doubled his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Yeah, strong play by Fernandez as well. May he rest in peace as well. Runner on first, 2 outs. Smiley will pitch to Incaviglia. And that's a 7. That's a tough. It's an 88. It's an 88. Oh, boy. If Smiley was a right-handed pitcher, that would be a base hit. But because he's a lefty, that is a ground ball to short. Easy play by Larkin. He throws to second, and the inning is over. So we got a pitcher's duel here. A pitcher's duel between these two. Although somebody here in the chat didn't think we would see that. I wonder who that was. Tony. Oh, sorry. 6 in the books. Reds 1, Phillies nothing. We're going to go to the top of the 7th inning. Out comes Juden. Juden is scheduled to bat 3rd in the inning, so this will probably be his last inning anyway. So Jeff Juden will pitch, and leading off for Cincinnati will be Deion Sanders. Sanders is 1 for 2, singled his last time up. Oh, shuffle the cards. Even though I haven't used many of them, we shuffle anyway. You got to love this fact deck. Makes the game flow even smoother without rolling dice all over the place sometimes. Okay, Sanders is the batter. Here's the pitch from Juden. And that's a 7. That's going to be a patient, and Sanders is going to draw the base on balls. That is a walk. And this is Juden's fielding, his fatigue inning. So here in the 7th. So Sanders is on first, and he will attempt to steal again. At least he should. A run rating of 8. It's a 7. So let's see if he attempts to run. And the hold rating is a 10. So 8, 9. So a 0 to 90, he attempts it. 67. There he goes. It's a very good chance to steal. Here's the throw. Here's the throw by Darren Daulton, and he is out of there. Very good out. Darren Daulton throws out Deion Sanders. Oh, my. He is thrown out. Very good, and he's out of there. Is there a mechanic for pass balls and wild pitches? For pass balls, no. Wild pitches, yes. Yes. on certain cards, there's a wild pitch rating. And if a roll from the dice falls into that rating, it's a wild pitch. The funny thing is that in one game against in one game of my runner-up series from the Yankees and the Cardinals, that wild pitch rating actually took away a triple from a player on the Cardinals. But yes, there is a wild pitch mechanic. Gotta remember it, because I actually have a card here telling me anytime I roll a 30 or something to check real quick the wild pitch rating. You also have certain supplementary strikeout ratings as well, but those are optional, but I actually use it. But Sanders is thrown out at second. Yeah, check the replay. And they will check the replay, and Sanders is dead duck. He was out by 2 feet. Darren Daulton, very good as an out, and he's out of there. What a throw by Daulton. He's erased on a stolen bait, on a caught stealing. 1 out. That brings up Willie Green, and the fans here are giving Darren Daulton a standing ovation. I know he's not fatigued unless he gives up 3 runs. He's not fatigued, but he's due to bat this inning, so I don't think I'll have him in there any longer. Philly's got to try to win this game. So here's Willie Green. He's 0 for 2. 1 out. Here's the pitch. That's a 9. That's going to be a patient. That's a 44, and Willie Green will draw the walk. So it's a good thing they got Deion Sanders out of there. So Willie Green now walks. That's his first time on base in this game. So he's on it first. And pass ball is rare play chart. Exactly. It's where that shows up. Not many of them. That's correct. Green on it first. No jump rating. Green will not steal. And the Reds will bring up Brian Dorsett. He's next. And Dorsett is 0 for 2. Runner on first. Yeah, 30 to 38. But John Smiley's wild pitch rating is a 30. Jeff Juden does not have it. There is a pitcher with a 30 to 39. And that was for and that was on the Cardinals. So here's the pitch of Dorsett. And that's a tough, but it's a 60. Wow, box cars, but 61. That's a tough on Dorsett. And that one is going to be a ground ball to second base. The only play they got is to first. A slow rolling grounder. Willie Green will make it to second on a fielder's choice, but Dorsett is out. A 12, he's out of there. So Green goes to second. Dorsett is out. The batter is John Smiley. He's the pitcher. That's correct. Exactly, Tony. So John Smiley is the pitcher. Runner on second base, 2 outs here. Top of the 7th. Do you pinch it for Smiley? Do you continue to let him bat? Runner on second base. Tough call. I think Smiley. Well, it's a tough call here. Smiley's pitching a gem, but the Reds bullpen is not bad. The Reds bullpen really isn't bad. I'm going to bring in a pinch hitter for the Reds. That's going to be it for Smiley, and he can only leave with the win. So the Reds will take out Smiley, who will close the book on him, and he did well. Going up against Jeff Juden, the right-hander, they will bring in a pinch hitter. And that's going to be Brett Boone. So coming on to bat for the Reds now will be Brett Boone. Smiley's going to leave. He can only get the win. And here's Brett Boone to go up against Jeff Juden with 2 outs. Boone batted .336 with 10 home runs against right-handers. So they take Smiley out, even though he's pitching a shutout. But the Reds, who are trailing the Astros right now in the National League Central, must try to win games. Here's the pitch to Boone. That's a 5. That's ballpark 23. That's going to be wheelhouse. It's a 27. Pow! This ball is hit high. This ball is hit deep, And this ball is gone. Home run, pinch hit, home run, Bret Boone. And the fans here can't believe it. In the ballpark, wheelhouse, right-handed batter, 1-32. 1-32, and that is a 23 and a 27 on Bret Boone and a 1-27 versus a right-hander. Bret, this ball just cleared the fence. Just got over it. Just got over the right center field fence as Dykstra went back and it just missed his glove by maybe inches. And Bret Boone blasts a 2-run pinch hit home run like Gerald Williams did for the Yankees last night. And it's now 3-0 Reds. Yeah, good call, manager, for me with the Reds, but what did I do for any Philly fans out there that didn't like that? I try to win play for both teams. Bret Boone, a pinch hit blast. Home run for Bret Boone. How about another? That's the second straight game I've had a pinch hit home run. Second straight game. I'll see what I'll do with Boone here in a minute. And Jeff Juden, that's his third run, and he is now fatigued. But the Phillies would like to see him get out of the inning. And the batter for Cincinnati is Tony Fernandez. And I'm going to go to the fatigue pitchers cards because he's due to bat third. I don't think you do it. I think you take him out. So yeah, Jeff Juden's going to come out, but he actually pitched very well. Jeff Juden can only leave with the loss. So Jeff Juden is coming out for Philly. They may pull a double switch. And we'll see what he does here. Let me think about this for a second. May do a double switch since the batter was due to hit for third. Tony Fernandez is a switch hitter. You got a right and a left. Coming on to pitch now for Philadelphia will be Toby Borland. Toby Borland's going to come into pitch for Philadelphia. 1 win, no losses, 2.36 ERA. He will take over for the Phillies. And I'm going to put Borland. Let me see something here. Give me a moment. Tony Longmire is due to bat. Incaviglia, left field, is due to bat. Is the leadoff batter for the Philadelphia Phillies is Incaviglia. He's due to bat first in the bottom of the 7th inning. You'd like to have Borland go maybe 2 innings at least. And he's in left field. So if you want to replace him, you got to bring another left fielder. And they will do just that. So we will do a double switch. So Toby Borland will come in. He will come in into Longmire's spot. Longmire is out of the game, and replacing Longmire will be Jacob Brumfield, and he will now bat third. So the pitcher card now goes into first. I believe I'm doing that right. Toby Borland. No, you don't replace the guy that's up. No, you replace the guy behind him. No, Darren Daulton. I'm sorry, wrong. Darren Daulton would have to come out because he's due to bat. That's right. Okay, my bad. It's not Incaviglia and it's not Brumfield. Jeez, I'm trying to get this done right. And Brumfield's on Cincinnati. I'm going to go with the wrong damn team. What am I doing? Timeout. Toby Borland coming in to pitch for Philadelphia, and he's going to take, and the leadoff batter was Incaviglia. Daulton is the one that just batted, so Daulton actually has to come out. So I got to replace the catcher. Can I do that? No, I don't have another catcher. All right, so who I got at second base? Dave Hollins? Can replace Hollins. Yes, we can do that. Mickey Morandini is going to come in at second base to replace Dave Hollins. So Morandini will take over, will now bat ninth. And Toby Borland, the pitcher, experiencing technical difficulties. Yeah, I know, right? So Hollins is done. So I turn him around. So Borland, a new batter. Where's the pitcher hitting card I just had? Right there. Okay, so Longmire is still in there. Okay, so Incaviglia is due to bat. So Toby Borland will take over the 4 spot. And now it will now be Mickey Morandini coming in at second base. Sorry, guys. So Morandini takes over at second. I'm sorry, third. Oh, wait a minute. What am I doing? Yeah, we are experiencing technical difficulties. Bad. This is bad. Morandini is a second baseman. Hollins was third base. Shit. Timeout again. I should have had this prepared. Who's the third base? Make it Kim Batista. Morandini will stay in. Kim Batista will take over at third. My bad. Kevin Batista. Yeah, we're experiencing technical difficulties, all right. So Batista takes over at third base. His rating is a C1. So and it's the same rating as Holland, so there's no difference in rating. Okay. Now we're ready to get back. Now we're getting universal DH. Okay. Okay, so now we go back to the bottom. Let's get to the inning. It's now Reds 3, Phillies nothing. Toby Borland will pitch to Tony Fernandez with 2 outs. As now I got this right. So here's the pitch from Borland. It's a 3. It's a patient. It's a 33. And after all that, Tony Fernandez still gets a walk. So a base on balls for Fernandez. He goes there. And with a 3, he has a chance to steal. But with his rating's a C with 2 outs, he's not going. Because they're going to let Barry Larkin hit. So here's the pitch to Larkin. Runner on first, 2 outs. It's a 7. It's a patient. It's a 96. And that one's a fly ball to left field. Getting under that one is Mitchell. He will make the catch. Not Mitchell. Getting under that one is Incaviglia. He makes the catch. And the side is retired. But a big home run, pinch hit home run by Brett Boone, goes ahead and puts the Reds ahead with 2 extra runs. 7th inning stretch time. Cincinnati Reds 3, Phillies nothing. I'll be right back in a moment, people. Sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Okay, let's put everything to the side real quick. It's time for the 10-minute ticker to see how your favorite teams are doing in this awesome baseball season. So there's our schedule. And here is the 1994 payoff pitch results charts, which we're using. Now, I accidentally circled today's winners by yesterday, as a matter of fact. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to circle these. So let's see how we do today. So let's find out. Hey, I've seen you have trouble with double switches too there, Tony. All right, here we go with the payoff pitch quick results charts. First up is going to be, okay, we got the National League up there. We'll start with that. Florida, San Francisco. It's a D over F. It's an 11, and that's a win for Florida. So the Marlins get a win over the Giants, and the Giants need to continue staying with the Dodgers. So any loss they have is not that good. Cubs and the Braves, and that is a B over F. Atlanta's favored. That's a 10, and the Cubs get a win over Atlanta. That could be a tough loss. Colorado, Montreal. Montreal's favored, A over D. That's a 3, and the Expos do get the win. Cincinnati, Philadelphia, we're playing. Astros and Mets. Astros are favored, B over D. That's a 4, and the Astros do get the win. They beat the Mets. Pittsburgh at Los Angeles. Dodgers are favored, C over D. That's a 5, and that's a win for the Dodgers. St. Louis at San Diego. If you want to go take a nap, that's fine by me. St. Louis, San Diego, D over F. That's a 7, and that's actually a win for the underdog. That's for a win for the Padres. They get the win there. Switching over now to the American League for Wednesday, August 17. Baltimore, Texas, B over D. Baltimore is favored. That's a 7, and that's a win for the Orioles. They beat the Rangers. Red Sox and White Sox. White Sox favored, A over D. That's an 8, and that's a win for the Red Sox. Boston gets a win. California, Milwaukee. Those games out there in the American League West are still very important. But Brewers are favored, D over F. That's a 9, and that's a win by the underdog. That's the Angels. They get a win. Minnesota, Detroit. Both teams the same, DD. That's a 7. That's won by the visitor. So that's won by the Twins. Yankees in Kansas City. Tough loss for the Yankees yesterday, and they're favored, A over B. It's a 9, and that's won by the Yankees. So the Yankees get back that tough loss from yesterday. Oakland at Cleveland. Big game for the Indians, but an A over F. They are massively favored over the Athletics. A 10. But the A's are going to get the win. So Oakland gets a win on the Indians. Finally, Seattle, Toronto. Toronto favored, D over F. That's a 5, and that's a win by Toronto. So the Blue Jays get the win. Okay, that's our 10-minute ticker. So if your favorite team did well, congratulations. If not, there's always tomorrow. Time to get back to baseball in the bottom half of the 7th inning, where the Reds now lead at 3-0 on the Phillies. We'll have a new pitcher for the Reds. And they will bring out Hector Carrasco. As I said, Cincinnati has a pretty good bullpen. Their bullpen is strong. That was one of their strengths, in my opinion. Hector Carrasco will pitch for Cincinnati. 5 wins, 6 losses, a 2.24 ERA. He will pitch for the Reds and try to he could close the game out, even though his fatigue rating is short, but we'll see. Bottom of the 7th inning, And leading off for Philadelphia would be Pete Incaviglia. Caviglia bats. Carrasco's a righty, so now the batters will switch. 213, 9 home runs against right-handers. There's the pitch. And it's a 7. That's a patient. It's a 19, and Incaviglia draws a leadoff walk off of Carrasco. And that's the second time he's reached base. He was 1 for 2. A leadoff walk there. And the batter will be Tony Longmire. He's 1 for 2, singled and grounded out. Incaviglia not running, steal 3, not running. They're going to let Longmire bat. He bats 248 with no homers against righties. The pitch. That's a 4. That's a patient. That's a 69, and that's going to be a ground ball to short. Let's see. Double play rating's a 9. Carrasco's a 10. Oh, that's easy. Barry Larkin's got it. Eats a sandwich, then tosses it over to second. He goes to Fernandez. Fernandez eats his own sandwich. Then he throws it over to first, and we got the double play. 6-4-3. Done. As Tony Longmire grounds out right into it. Larkin to Fernandez to Morris. 2 down. And that will bring up Kevin Stocker. Stocker is 0 for 1, walked and flew out. Here's the pitch from Carrasco. And that's an 8. That's a tough, and that is a strikeout. So Hector Carrasco gives up a leadoff walk, but that is all he gives up as a double play. Is the pitcher's best friend. Nothing across except for a walk. It's still 3-0 Reds. Go to the top of the 8th inning. Toby Borland will come out to pitch for Philly. Leading off for the Reds is Hal Morris. That's how good Larkin was. Hall of Famer. Here's Morris. He's 0 for 3, though. So here's the pitch from Borland. That's a 6. That's going to be a tough. It's a 53, and Morris is going to belt one into left center field. That's going to go through second and third. That's a base hit for Hal Morris. That's his first hit of the game. And that is picked up by Incaviglia. He'll throw it in, but Cincinnati has the leadoff base runner. His steal rating's a 4, but a 6 on the board. He will not go. And you're up 3-0. You're not going to try anything. So here's Kevin Mitchell. Mitchell 0 for 3. Here's the pitch. That's a 6. That's a tough. It's an 87, and that's a ground ball to short. Mitchell's double play rating's a 9. Borland's a 10. They're going to do the double play as well. To second, to first, 2 outs. As Mitchell, he grounds into the 6-4-3. Two outs now for Reggie Sanders. And he's 0 for 3. The double play, the pitcher's best friend. And Toby Borland has a double play rating of 10, so he gets them. Here's the pitch to Sanders. And that is a foul ball, strike 1. We'll do it again. That's an 8. That's a tough. That's a 67. And that is a strikeout. As Toby Borland does what the Phillies want him to do, was get out of the last inning and pitch a good one here. And the side is retired. No runs on a hit. Bottom half of the 8th inning coming up. That's actually going to be it for Borland. He's done. As Philly will bring in another pitcher. But Carrasco can pitch his 2nd inning. And leading off for Philadelphia will be Kim Batista. Batista took over at third base in the double switch. He bats .281 with 1 homer against right-handed pitchers in 94. So Batista will take his first shot. Bottom of the 8th inning, 3-0 Reds. Phillies trying to get on the board. Here's the pitch. That's an 11. That's a defense. That's a 24. And it goes a hit to the shortstop to Barry Larkin. His range is a C. It's a 24, and that's going to get by Barry Larkin. That's going to be a base hit for Kim Batista. Larkin's rating is a C in 94. And that's a range, and that's a beat-off base hit for Batista. So he comes in and he gets a base hit. It gets by Larkin, probably because it was hit hard. But it gets by him. Batista will hold it first. His steal rating's a 3. He's not going to run. And the top of the batting order now for the Phillies is Lenny Dykstra. So runner on first. And now Carrasco trying to see if he can get Dykstra out. Dykstra's 2 for 3. Singled twice. Here's the pitch. We got a 7. That's a patient. It's a 25. And Dykstra's going to draw the base on balls. So all of a sudden, the Phillies have runners at first and second and nobody out. Third time Dykstra's been on base. Batista goes to second. And the batter is Mariano Duncan. Duncan is 0 for 3. Philadelphia needs base runners. No hit and run or anything like that. They're going to let him swing away. Now with Batista with a rating of a D to steal. So there's no hit and run here. Nobody out. But now the Phillies are threatening. Here's the pitch from Carrasco. And that is a 6. That's a tough. That's a 90. And that's a ground ball to short. Duncan's, his double play rating is an 8. Carrasco's a 10. And they're going to turn the double play again. Larkin to Fernandez. To Morris. 2 outs. Batista goes to third. So Barry Larkin makes up a little bit for not even able to make the play, even though it was not an error. It was a range play. But now 2 outs, and here's Kruk. And Philly fans here at the Vet are wondering what's going on. Larkin is a C4 in 1994. His rating is a C4. Range of C, error 4. Does not make many errors, of course, because he didn't. So that's the second best error rating. But his range is a C in 94. Unfortunately, my focus sucks. But that's all I can tell you. C4. Run of the mill, I know. Batista on at third, Kruk the batter, but 2 outs now in the bottom of the 8th. If the Phillies want to get something on the board, they better do it here. Here's the pitch from Carrasco. And that's a 5. That's a patient. It's an 0-6. And Kruk is going to draw a base on balls. So a walk to Kruk. And now runners at the corners with 2 outs. And now you got the pitcher coming up. And Borland was scheduled to bat, was scheduled to be replaced anyway. So they'll bring it, Philadelphia will bring in a pinch hitter to go up against Carrasco. And the pinch hitter of choice to use here is going to be Jim Eisenreich. So coming to bat for Philly will be Jim Eisenreich. He batted .308 with 4 homers against righties. Hector Carrasco is due to be replaced after this inning, so Cincinnati will leave him in to pitch to Eisenreich. Runners in the corners, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. Here's the pitch to Eisenreich from Carrasco. Big pitch. It's a 3. It's ballpark 31, and it's going to be in play. And it's an 83, and that will not do it. A ground ball to second base. Nice play by Fernandez. He tosses to Larkin covering, and Cincinnati gets out of the jam. Again. A ballpark in play, but an 83 on the card is just a little ground out. And the side is retired. Another chance for Philadelphia, and they cannot get the runners in. Eight innings in the books. Still Reds 3, Phillies 0. We go to the top of the 9th inning. Philadelphia will have a new pitcher. And a couple of lefties are scheduled to bat for Cincinnati. But I don't think bringing in him makes a difference here. I think you got to bring in a pitcher who can get some outs. He's their closer. But he's going to pitch the top of the 9th inning. It's going to be Doug Jones. Jones is the closer with 2 wins, 4 losses, but a 2.17 ERA. He will come in and pitch for the Phillies. As Carrasco is done, so the Reds will replace him in the bottom of the 9th. Leading off for Cincinnati, though, is Deion Sanders. Sanders is 1 for 2. So here's Doug Jones for the Phillies to try to keep it a 3-0 lead, and the Phillies have a chance in the bottom of the 9th inning to get the job done. Here's the pitch to Sanders from Jones. That's a 6. That's an in-play 0-4, and Sanders launches one into the outfield. That one goes deep into left center field. Coming over for that one is Dykstra. He's got it. He throws it in, but no way they're going to get Sanders. He is safe at second base with a leadoff double. That's Deion Sanders' second hit of the game. So he now has a 2 for 3 night. And a big run is at second base. 0-4 in play. And just got it, too. Because his in-play rating as a double is 1-4, and that's what he got as a 4. So Sanders smacks a double. Big hit for the Reds. And the batter is Willie Green. Green is 0 for 2 with a walk. Here's the pitch to Green. That's a 6. That's an in play, 0-8. And that one's going to be a base hit for Willie Green. That's going to be a single. Sharp liner drops in front of left field. Runner on second advances 1 base. Sanders goes to third. His run rating is an 8. That's a left fielder. That's in Cavilla. His arm rating is a 6. They will hold Sanders at third with nobody out. They're going to hold him. Runners at first and third, no outs. Even though Sanders has got the speed, I'm going to hold him. And the batter is going to be Brian Dorsett. Dorsett is 0 for 3. So Doug Jones comes up for Philadelphia, their closer, and he's given up a double and a single already. And the infield is going to play in because the Phillies cannot afford another run. So here's Dorsett, infield in. Have the infield in chart ready. Here we go. Here's the pitch from Jones. That's a 5. That's a tough. That's a 55. That's a 55. And Dorsett gets himself a single. Oh, my. That's a soft blooper into right field. Willie Green will advance to third. Sanders will score, and the Reds now lead it 4-0. Wow. A tough and a 55, and Dorsett gets the base hit. And fans are beginning to head for the exits. Third straight hit given up by Doug Jones. They come in here, tries to keep it 3-0, and Jones can't get anybody out. Pitching coach coming out to talk to Jones, and still no one out. But now 4-0 Reds. And the batter is supposed to be the pitcher. And, of course, the Reds were going to bring in a new one anyway, so the Reds will bring in a pinch hitter. And coming on to bat for the Reds will be Jacob Brumfield. He batted .329 with a homer against right-handed hitting in '94. Runners at the corner, still nobody out. They're going to leave Doug Jones out there. He's only given up the 1 run, but the next run he gives up will fatigue him, and that'll be it for him. Runners at the corners, nobody out. The Phillies are going to play the infield back. They got to get out of this inning. So they'll try for the double play. Here's the pitch. That's a 5. That's a tough. It's a 57. And this one is a fly ball to right field. Coming under that one is going to be Longmire. He makes the catch. 1 out. Let's see what kind of fly ball it is. It's a deep fly. Green has a rating of 7. It's a deep fly, so he has a rating of 7. He will tag up and score. It's now 5-0 Reds on the sac fly. So the Phillies are letting this one get away as Cincinnati is getting some timely hitting. Dorsett had to hold it first. But a sac fly for Brumfield. But now 1 out. And now the batter is Fernandez. And that's going to be it for Jones. So Jones comes in and gives up 2 runs. And coming on to pitch now for Philadelphia will be Heathcliff Slocum. Slocum, 5 wins, 1 loss, a 2.86 ERA. He'll be the pitcher now going against Tony Fernandez. But still 1 out here in the top of the 9th. 5-0 Reds. Here's the pitch from Slocum. And this is an 8. That's a tough. It's a 78. And that one's a fly ball to center field. Getting under that one is Dykstra. And that's the second out. And the batter now is Barry Larkin. One hour and 42 minutes and 32 seconds. Quiet out there from the Peanut Gallery, Cards and Dice TV. Here's the pitch to Larkin. And it's a 5. That's a defense. That's a 90. That's not going to matter, I don't think. It's a third. It's hit to third base. It's hit to Batiste. His rating is a 1, but a 90 won't matter. He's got it. He throws to second, and that will be the force, and will end the inning. And the Phillies finally get out of it, but not after giving up a couple of runs. So the Reds get 2 runs on 3 hits. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. It's Reds 5, Phillies nothing. Don't say tie game here, Cards and Dice. You know how my games go. It's not a save situation, so the Reds are going to bring in Johnny Ruffin to pitch to try to close the game out. So Ruffin comes in, 7 wins, 2 losses, a 3.09 ERA. Johnny Ruffin will try to pitch it for the Reds to end the inning, to end the game, I should say. Bottom of the 9th, 5-0. Leading off for Philadelphia is Darren Daulton. Johnny Ruffin's pitch to Daulton. And that is a 9. That's a patient. It's a 15. It's a 59. And Daulton belts this one into the outfield. That's going to be a double. He hits this one. It's a 9. He hits this one down the right field line. Rolls into the corner. Sanders is going to make the play. Daulton's going for 2. He will make it a leadoff double for the Phillies in the bottom of the 9th inning. Darren Daulton, a 57 to a 60 on a patient versus right-handed pitching, and he throws a 59. And the Phillies got their leadoff man in scoring position already. Long way to go, though. Here's Pete Incaviglia. He's had a good night, though. Incaviglia is 2 for 3, a single and a double. Daulton on at second. Here's the pitch from Ruffin. It's a 7. It's a tough. It's a 44, and that is a strikeout. 1 away. Remember, tomorrow we got the Red Sox and the White Sox, so anyone can get a hold of our Red Sox fan. His Red Sox are on tap tomorrow. In a big game for the White Sox, actually. But it should be good to have a fun game with Boston. Darren Daulton at second. Here's Tony Longmire. Longmire is 1 for 3. 1 out. Bottom of the 9th. It's a 3. It's defense. It's a 12. And that's going to be a hit no matter what. It's an error. The ball is hit to third base. It's hit to Green. His error rating is, it's an error chance on third base. Green, error rating is a 3. It's a 1 to 42. Green commits an error. Green commits an error, and it's a 1-base error. Game is not over yet. Daulton goes to third and holds. Runners at first and third with one out as Willie Green commits an error. It's an E5. And I give an error to the Reds on that. An error on Willie Green at third base. 1-42 and a 12 on the board. Oh my. Runners at the corners with still one out. And here's Kevin Stocker. Extra ground balls all day tomorrow. Runners at first and third. One out. Stocker now at the plate. Stocker is 0 for 2. A strikeout, fly out, and a walk. Here's the pitch from Ruffin. It's an 11. It's wheelhouse, 18. And that's going to be a base hit for Kevin Stocker. It's a single. Stocker rips a base hit. It's a grounder up the middle to center field. Runner on first advances 2 bases. Darren Daulton does come in to score. It's 5-1. As the Phillies are finally on the board. Stocker gets a single. And that's the first, and that's a run off of Johnny Ruffin. They're going to talk to Ruffin for a moment. And now they might just bring in the closer because the tying run now is in the hole. They're not going to take any chances. We got a pitching change. Exactly. That's what I'm bringing in. So Ruffin comes in, gives up a run. The shutout is gone. And coming on now to pitch, the runner's in the hole. It's a save situation now. You might want to check that, Cards and Dice. You might want to check that. Or is the tying run on deck? Yes, he is. The tying run's on deck. Yes, it is. I'm sorry. But here's Brantley. Jeff Brantley will now come in to pitch for Cincinnati. 6 wins, 6 losses, 2.48 ERA. He's got 15 saves. I know that's not the hole. But as far as I was told, if the runner is in the hole, it's still a safe situation. Because the runner on first advances 2 bases according to the card. Because I used the card to decide what about the runners. Appichatter is here. You thought this game would be over quickly, but it's not. Reds 5, Phillies 1. Tying run now on deck. But 1 out. And the batter for Philadelphia will be Kim Batista. He bats .281 against right-handers. He will bat. 2 base hits and an error in the bottom of the 9th inning. Tying run on deck. One out. Jeff Brantley. Now he has to close the door. Here's the pitch. It's a 7. It's a tough. It's a 26, and that is a strikeout. Huge strikeout by Brantley. He gets the K. And now it's up to a guy by the name of Nails. Dykstra is 2 for 3. 2 singles, a ground out, and a walk. But 2 outs now. Stocker will score on a double. If Dykstra hits a double, he will clear the bases. But runners at the corners, 2 outs. Hey, that druggie helped you win the 1986 World Series. Show some respect. Fans come to their feet, but we're in the vet, not Riverfront. The Dump. One of the worst stadiums in baseball history. Jeff Brantley to pitch to Dykstra. Runners to the corners. 2 outs. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. It's ballpark. It's 0-2. It's wheelhouse. Oh, no. It's wheelhouse. Here's the pull. It's a 46. And he pops it up. Oh, my. I almost thought so. It's a 46 in the wheelhouse against righties. He pops it up. Pop out to short. Barry Larkin sees it, calls for it, makes the catch, and the Reds escape with a 5-1 win. A ballpark check in an 0-2 wheelhouse, and the card pull is a 46, and Dykstra in the wheelhouse ends at 42. He pops it up. And that's the ball game as the Cincinnati Reds escape here in the bottom of the 9th inning, 5-1 over the Phillies. 1 run on 2 hits and an error. I'll give you the line score here. So the final line score, Cincinnati, 5 runs, 8 hits and an error. Philadelphia, 1 run, 7 hits and no errors. John Smiley does pick up the win. The loss is to Jeff Juden. And Jeff Brantley does get the save. Incredible. When I saw that ballpark and wheelhouse roll, I said, you gotta be kidding me. And then I saw 46 and I'm Dykstra and said, oh my God, not this time. The most it would have probably been a base hit. Dykstra's home run rating against right-handers in the wheelhouse is 1-15. Well, everyone, that's it for tonight. The Cincinnati Reds get a big win on the Philadelphia Phillies 5-1. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Tomorrow we got the Red Sox and the White Sox, so should be fun to see Boston and Chicago mix it up. It's always great when the 2 Sox teams get matched up. It's going to be Aaron Seeley versus Jason Bear, so that should be fun to watch. Until then, everyone, drive home safely. This is Robert from RJL 518. Have a good night. Stay healthy, stay safe, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Once again, final score, Reds 5, Phillies 1. Good night, everybody.